Come on, guys, you can't be serious. Puff Daddy, P Diddy, just Diddy now, I guess, which is kind of weird. But you're saying he's a bad guy, really? Puff Daddy, the guy that wrote the song "Come With Me" from the Godzilla soundtrack, the critically acclaimed 1998 film starring Matthew Broderick, Maria Pitalo, John Reno, fucking Hank Azaria from The Simpsons was in there. And you're gonna seriously tell me that guy's a bad guy? Come on, this world's really going down the shitter, isn't it? Welcome everybody back to Knowledge Just Sport, episode number 113, lucky number 13. Obviously I'm just kidding. It's, we'll get into it a little bit later, but the evidence is not looking good against Puff Daddy, unfortunately. Or again, I guess he goes by Diddy now, I don't know. But the only song that I really knew by him, I'm sure I know other songs just through the grapevine. I just didn't know they were him because sometimes I'm out of touch for music. But I just like "Come With Me." I remember jamming to that song all the time because it was the music in the song is not even from him. It's from what is it, Jimmy Page, I think. It's one of their songs that he sampled, and I think the only lyric is basically like "Come with me," literally. But I don't know, it was a jam back in the day. It slapped pretty hard, but it's it's not looking too good for that guy. But again, we'll get into it. Sorry, I missed the podcast last week again. I've been bad this month, but I've just been so goddamn busy. It was my daughter's 3rd birthday, so, happy birthday to Briar. Daddy loves you. You're so fucking cute, and I'm glad you had a good birthday. And it's just like, when you're in a split household, that's how it goes, You have, the birthday with mom, you have the birthday with dad, you have the birthday with grandma, everybody wants to have a birthday with the little girl, so it's always very busy. And we also had WrestleMania going on that same weekend, and WrestleMania was really cool. Of course, as I predicted, Cody Rhodes would finish his storyline and beat Roman Reigns in the final there, because I even called it. I said they're gonna beat him the day one, because it was Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. And I figured, I'm like, I think they can't really let The Rock lose on his one comeback. It wouldn't look good for him. So I'm like, they're going to let him and Roman win. So it's tribal rules. And it kind of got out of control in the final. And they had a lot of cameos from other wrestlers. It was super cool to see. The best that everybody obviously got so crazy excited about was The Undertaker, because The Undertaker's obviously retired, but he literally appeared for, I think it was a minute, and the lights just went out during the match, and then his theme song started playing, like the bell, and the lights came back on, and then The Undertaker was just standing behind The Rock, and he just absolutely choke slams him, and the lights go off, and then he's gone. So it was literally like a cameo. And I can't think of another time when they've actually done a cameo during WrestleMania. It was pretty cool. But it was cool to see the Taker, honestly. Again, we have this whole tradition, and I'm sure we talked about each year it popped up on here, but we have a tradition of going and watching it at my buddy Ryan there, friend of the podcast. We'd go to his dad's place and watch it in his garage. It was always fun. And, even though I don't follow the storylines throughout the year, it's definitely fun to follow the storyline, like the road to WrestleMania, and enjoy WrestleMania. Because it's usually, embellished, and they kind of pull out all the stops to make it really entertaining. So I definitely enjoy it. And it's more about the camaraderie. We all get together, have some drinks, have some food, and it's just a fun fucking time, and I love it, honestly. It's it's a good hang. But since it's being done over 2 days now, WrestleMania now takes place over 2 days. Day two has kind of fallen on whatever we want to do. So this year we had it at my place, and it was pretty fun. I made snacks, and people brought snacks. It was a good time, but I just during all that everything that was going on, I did not have time to record any podcast, nor did I have the energy. I was so burnt out after everything. I just wanted to curl up in a ball, watch Monk, and cry. But that's pretty much, yeah, that's all I did. And then lately, it's so funny how I've just been so busy and tired. And obviously, Helldivers 2, I love that game so much, but I have not had time to play it. Every time that I go to play it, like I want to have some time to play it. I just had some time last night, and I was like, yeah, got in a few hours with the boys, and that was really fun. But it's just when you get older, it's so hard sometimes to find time to do that stuff anymore. And it's ironic to me because I used to like make fun of stuff like that. I'm like, I'll never stop playing video games. But then as you get older, it's not about not wanting to play them. It's just time. You lose that time, and I don't even know where it goes. It's a matter of wearing yourself down too. Because it used to be a matter of, well, you work till 5, you make supper, whatever. You're tired. But shit, when I was younger, it was like get off work at 5, grab some beers, grab some fast food, chicken McDonald's, shit like that, scarf it all down, and then all you gotta do is go game, and then you game till 3 in the morning, and then you work at 8 in the morning, you're good to go. But now it's, good Lord, even if I stay up till like 1 o'clock, which used to be pretty normal for me, if I stay up till 1, I don't feel nearly as good. Like, I feel very tired. So I almost need to go to bed at like 11. Oh, excuse me. I need to go to bed at like 10 or 11. See, I'm tired now because I didn't even get to sleep till like midnight. Well, I didn't even get into bed till 12:30, let alone go to sleep. So, but yeah, that's boring. It's enough about that. Helldivers 2. I want to talk about what they've been doing, because they've been adding some new updates, some new weapons, new war bonds. It's pretty cool what they've been doing, but Jesus Christ, those people need to get their shit together. Again, how many patches are we in now? And those fuckers have still not fixed the spear. The spear, for those of you that don't know, if you don't know, that just means you probably haven't played the game, which means you don't even care anyway, but I'll say it anyway. The spear is like an anti-tank weapon for heavy enemies, like chargers, bile titans, shit like that. The tanks for the automatons, and it's supposed to lock on. It's basically a javelin. If you've ever a real life weapon, javelin. That's what it is, which is ironic because it's called a spear. So it's like, a javelin is like a spear. But anyways, enough of those jokes, guys. That's why you guys come here though, for the good jokes. But it's just for some reason, I don't know what it is, they can't get that lock on right. It either will lock on really effectively onto enemies and to shoot it and you're good to go, or it will just not lock on, and it's the most frustrating fucking thing in the world. I really hate it, to be honest. It's so frustrating because I love it so much. It's such a cool weapon. It's so awesome, fun to use when it works. But half the time it doesn't fucking work. But anyways, I digress from that. It's cool that they've been adding some stuff, but the one thing this company doesn't seem to get right is marksman rifles. The marksman rifles that they've released are fucking shit. And the new marksman rifle they released is no exception to that rule. It's shit. It's just basically it's a really low damage, quick tapping marksman rifle. But it takes like 3 shots to kill a regular automaton. Like a regular ass robot. Like 3 or 4 shots sometimes. And like two shots if you're lucky. If you get a headshot, 1, but it's got a shitty scope. It's got a good scope, but it's not very high zoom, so It's hard to get those headshots from a ways away, which is what you're supposed to be doing with a marksman rifle. But yeah, but when it comes down to it, those weapons are just not viable. They're not viable. They're not strong enough to warrant using them regularly. Whereas you could just have like the scythe, or is it the sickle? The sickle, that's the energy one. Yeah, it's just, you're better off using that, where you get constant kills with it, and then you just cool it down if it's overheating. Like, it's just there's really no comparing, to be honest. But I don't know. I think they need to take a little bit more care. And the reason I wanted to bring up the Helldiver 2 updates, because they added ship upgrades, and fucking the ship upgrades are bugged. Like some of them are bugged. There's one that's supposed to refill your ammo in full when you resupply, and you resupply and it doesn't. Like, it's bugged, and there's just nothing in the. Yes, it was in the patch notes, but you guys can't seriously expect everybody to read the fucking patch notes. Like, if you release something, that should just work, and it doesn't. So I wasted fucking money. Well, not wasted money in the game, but wasted, the samples and stuff on that ship upgrade, and it doesn't even fucking work right now. I was so fucking mad, but I mean, I did have a lot of samples saved up, so it's not a big loss, but still, it was enough of a piss off to me that it doesn't work. Like, if you implement something in your game, it should fucking work. And it's same with their thermite grenades. They had the thermite grenades that they added to the game, and they don't work right either. The damage doesn't really work. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a mess, but again, awesome game, super fun game, but Jesus Christ, like, they need to. There's some things that just have been a bug in there for a long time, and I would really love to see them fix it, because it's super annoying, super fucking annoying. But either way, let's just move on to the fucking, everybody's talking about this shit right now. P. Diddy, obviously, lots of allegations going on there. I'm gonna just bring up the thing here. I'm gonna exit that, but there's all these people, like, yeah, Joy Dickerson, Neal, all these people that are basically coming forward out of the woodwork and putting these allegations out against P. Diddy. Now, I'm not going to go through the allegations, because people have done that to death, and everybody knows that. You want to go look for them, you can find them. But I just want to say, from my perspective on what I think is going on here, and the honest truth is, for me, I just think it's a classic abuse of power. Any of these celebrities, when it comes down to it, it's just abuse of power. They're untouchable in their eyes because of the amount of fame and money, and because with money comes power, ultimately. And the thing is, everybody has their own fantasies, right? Everybody has their own kinks. So, we all have them, and whether people admit them or not, but when you have money and resources, all that stuff that's, in your head can become reality. And you just think you're untouchable. But with the internet, people aren't so untouchable anymore, because people find out, and people have ways of getting you and getting at you. And that's why, like, there was that whole FBI raid on P. Diddy's place, because there's sex trafficking allegations and all that shit. And obviously that's not what I'm talking about for, fetishes or fantasies. That's just sick stuff. But what I mean is, like, I think he had like a cuckold thing. There was like the one lady that's suing him. He made her, like, he made a sex worker fuck her in front of him. It was really weird. But, like, that's his fetish, which is fine. People can have their fetishes. But the thing is, when you get this money, right, you just think you can force people into it because you got money, and you can just throw money at them. And with this lady, it happened to be her career. She was under his record label, and the reason she went along with everything was because she didn't want to, give up her record deal, right? She wanted to be like, yeah, I'm cool, because I want my record deal, I want my money. So that's the thing, right? These people usually go along with this because they want the fame and fortune from that business. But it was the same thing. It's basically the same shit that was going on in Hollywood with Harvey Weinstein, right? When he was just making actresses. Well, yeah, you got some talent, but if you want to be in a movie, you're gonna have to fuck me. And that's just how those guys were, and that's how they operated. And again, before the internet, back when it was the dark ages, like they could get away with that because who the fuck's gonna know? Who's gonna tell you? Who's gonna believe you? But now with everything, with the modern internet, cell phones, cameras, surveillance, there's no chance. You can't get away with that shit. You just can't anymore. So when it comes to all this stuff, and some of these allegations are from the 90s, and some of them are coming out from recently, like 2020, 2022, something like that. But it's just what's happening is like all these guys that used to have power are losing their power because the world is changing. They can't just do the cloak and dagger shit anymore. It doesn't work that way. You will get found out. And again, I don't know how deep this goes. There was that whole FBI raid, but people are suspecting that the FBI raid wasn't about P. Diddy at all. It was about the people that he compromised. Again, like the Jeffrey Epstein thing, where they went to the island not for Jeffrey himself, but to get rid of all the evidence of the other people that might have been on the island, right? So there's allegations that people are saying that that's what the FBI was doing there. They weren't searching for P. Diddy or anything against him. They were searching for any kind of evidence that he might have had against, whatever, former presidents. Who knows? Who knows how deep it goes? So I don't know. Again, I'm not going to weigh in on any of this shit because I don't know. I'm not entrenched with Hollywood or anything like that. So, and who knows? Who knows what's going on? But obviously, the evidence is pretty damning, and I wouldn't doubt it. Again, these guys have huge egos. So, if they have these crazy, wild fetishes and fantasies, they're going to try to force it upon people and get people to do it because they just think they're above the law. But they're not. And again, a lot of people used to do that because that was the way you got along in the industry. It was just expected and accepted. But nowadays, people aren't accepting it, which is a good thing because if you're a woman, you shouldn't have to fuck your boss to get a movie role, obviously. And if you're anybody, if you're a girl in the music industry, you shouldn't have to fuck Puff Daddy or in some cases fuck another man in front of Puff Daddy just to get a record deal. It's a sick industry. But honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Like when this whole stuff broke and it came out, it didn't surprise me. I wasn't like, "What? Are you kidding me?" But it just seems like it's just all corrupt, right? Because again, like I said, it's money, and money just it corrupts their minds. It just makes them think they can get away with anything and do anything, and they really can't. And I'm glad, and I hope justice is served. If he's a sick son of a bitch, I hope he rots in jail. You know, it's the same with like R. Kelly. What happened to him? Like, he was found out to be a fucking weirdo. And again, you can like the artist. I don't care. Like, if you could separate the art from the artist, and enjoy a person's painting, their music, their movies, whatever, that's fine. Just like in recent years, like I don't really like Robert De Niro as a person. He just kind of comes off as a fucking snide asshole in a lot of ways. But I love him as an actor. His roles are fucking awesome. He's in some of the most iconic movies of all time. He's a good, like, great fucking actor. But as a person, I don't know. He just seems like kind of a dickhead. But that's separating the art from the artist, which some people can do, some people can't. But either way, that's all I really have on the whole P. Diddy thing. It's, I would suggest looking into it because it is interesting how deep it goes. And like Red Thread, there's a podcast, Red Thread. They did an episode on it a couple weeks ago or last week. I can't remember, but it was they went pretty in depth in the allegations, and it's pretty crazy how deep it goes. So I would recommend checking that out. But either way, I hope he gets what's coming to him. Again, allegedly, none of this is proven. They're all just allegations, but Again, for my own thoughts, I wouldn't doubt it. Because again, it's just that power corruption, man. That's all it is. People get fucking huge egos. And from what I heard in the music industry, Puff Daddy had one of the biggest egos because he was just one of the biggest producers. Like on level with almost like Dr. Dre and stuff like that. He was just, he had a little bit of his own music, but his biggest claim to fame was being a producer. So, and the producer's whole job is to make other people famous. So, they get an ego for sure. But either way, look into it. It's crazy. So before I go, because it's gonna be a quick one this week because as busy as I've been, I'm still busy. I still got more things to do. But that's why I'm releasing this episode early this week because I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I forgot last week. I got too busy and too crazy. I'm like, I'll just release an episode early so people are a little bit happier. They'll be like, hey, he missed 1 week, but he was early this week. And there might be another treat coming down. I might be doing a stream this week. So keep an eye for that, guys. But the last thing I wanted to talk about just real quick, because this just keeps coming up on my feed all the time, and it just drives me nuts. These fucking idiots. Like, the guy I'm talking about is Dave Ramsey. I'm sure you guys know who Dave Ramsey is. He wrote a couple books, and he does like a podcast type thing about helping people with money. And this whole thing is about helping people with money and showing them how to save, how they should spend their money, how they should prepare for retirement, all that kind of stuff. Basically, he's personal finance, right? But I fucking hate every time I see guys like this, and just any of these economy bros. I don't know what you call them, investment bros. They're so fucking stupid because it's always all this stuff like, oh, I just basically you borrow a lump sum of money, and then you pay cash for a home, and then you borrow money against the home. That's leverage. And then you buy another home, and then you rent out the first home and the second home, and you just take out your equity. And then it's always a fucking big line. And I'm not a financial person. I don't know a lot about finances personally, but I know the basics. And the basics for the beginning of this stuff is like, when the fuck would you ever pay cash for a house? Like, you're talking, and he's not talking billionaires, millionaires. He's talking the average Joe, like Jerry No Nuts on the street. Like, he's trying to tell him, like, this is how you should spend your money to be the most efficient. And it's like, it just doesn't make sense. And they're so out of touch. A lot of these fucking boomer ass finance people, because they're like, oh, well, you just pay cash. It's like, yeah, well, fucking Ramsey, houses aren't $60,000 anymore. They're upwards of $300,000 for that same property. And there's a video I saw the other day of him. He was like, I wouldn't buy a house for $300,000. He's like, I would buy $150,000 house. That's a fixer upper. I'd put $50,000 into it, make it new, and then sell it for $300,000. It's like, okay, yeah, good idea, but when is that gonna fucking happen? Like, it doesn't happen like that because people set their prices for what they want. People aren't out of touch with their shit. People will sell it for what it's worth. And yes, you can buy a fixer upper and flip it, for sure you can, but like, just the whole process that these guys are like, oh, just pay cash for your house. What, you can't? And the thing that makes me laugh the most about these guys is that it's just bullshit, right? They got rich off selling people lies. And the reason I know that is because you look at this. Just look at his career. This is on his Wikipedia article. This is the first line in his Wikipedia, besides early life, which is bullshit. It's just going to school. But like the first thing in his career, it says by 1986, Ramsey had amassed a portfolio worth over $4 million, which is pretty good. That's a lot of money for 86. However, with the Competitive Equality Banking Act of 1987 took effect, several banks changed ownership and called his $1.2 million in loans and lines of credit because he was over leveraged. Ramsey was unable to pay and filed for bankruptcy in 1988. So that's exactly it. That's the thing, right? Nobody ever knows about that. Nobody ever says that about that guy. Everybody's like, There's so many people that worship this guy. Oh, he's so good with finance. He literally went fucking bankrupt. He went fucking bankrupt. And he's trying to tell you how to live your life. Like, guys, don't listen to this fucking clown. He's an idiot. He doesn't know shit. And he came into money from, he obviously had generational wealth. He obviously had that. Right? So, and the reason he's rich now is because he told people how to get rich. But, and some of the stuff he says isn't wrong. He's not wrong necessarily. But look at why did he go bankrupt? He went bankrupt because he was over leveraged. He went bankrupt because of what he's telling you to do. Borrow against your house. Which is so fucking risky and stupid. Because, so he had a portfolio of 4 million. But 1.2 million he had in loans and lines of credit. So he's over leveraged. He didn't have enough to pay it off. So he literally just had to declare bankruptcy. Like, yeah, you did pretty good with what you were doing. But yeah, unfortunately, things happen. Like banks could change ownership and stuff like that happens all the time. It's not unheard of. And, he lost it all. But now it actually makes me angry that he's literally rich now from telling people how to get rich when he himself went bankrupt doing his own system. What's his I'm gonna look up his net worth. 4 million. 2021, his net worth is around 200 million. Jesus Christ. I don't know. On Reddit here, it says r/Dirty Dave. What's Dirty Dave? Is that his? People are saying he's worth 2 billion. Yeah, I doubt that, but I don't know. It's Reddit. Everything on Reddit is true and absolutely can be trusted. So remember that, guys. But either way, I just want to say that because there's so much bullshit financial shit floating out there, and I think people should be educated. I think you should educate yourself on finances. Look into investing. Even if you want to do Bitcoin stuff, definitely do your research because it's risky as fuck. But I think people should look into that stuff for sure. But like, when you see these weird guru type characters, oftentimes look into their past because they're not as flawless as you think they are. They're just, because literally, he just got rich off telling people how to get rich. But it's all bullshit. Ugh. Fucking drives me nuts. And there's just all these people, like everybody online's like, there's all these get rich quick DIYers, right? They're like, oh, this is how I make $4,000 a week on Amazon. Or this is how I make $200 a week. Like, there was one I saw, it was like, this is how I make $200 in my sleep every night. And he was talking about the Google ad rewards. And I'm like, first of all, I do that myself already. I do that for my Warcraft Rumble addiction, because the Google rewards thing is you answer surveys that come up for Google and they give you money. But it's like 50 cents a survey. If that, like, it's literally 10 cents to like 50 cents. If you get a big one, a big survey, it might be $1. But it's all Google Play money. You can't withdraw it. It's Google Play money for the Google Play Store. And it expires within a year if you don't use it. So it's fuck. Just, what I'm saying is just do your research. I feel like I want to do a podcast someday where I go into a deep rant on some of these DIYers and call them out because it really is crazy. And there's like a lot of people talking about how they just make all this money drop shipping, which honestly, drop shipping is like one of the scummiest things I've ever seen. Because they essentially, what they do is they advertise on Amazon. Like, I'll make up an example. Say I got an Ethernet cord, $30. I'm selling it on Amazon. So you see my Ethernet cord on Amazon for $30. You buy one. Now, what these drop shippers do is you buy it, so you're buying it from me. Now, what I do is I get that cord, but I get it off Temu, or I get it off, any Alibaba, AliExpress. I get it off there for $2, and I sell it to you for 30. And I never have that product. That product's never in stock at my store or in my house. I just literally drop ship it to you, essentially. And basically, you got something from Alibaba or AliExpress or Temu, but you paid the Amazon price. And it's the most greasy shit I've ever heard in my life, and it's super gross. But I mean, people do it, but I don't know. I don't think there's a way that people are making $4,000 a week doing that necessarily, unless you're really fucking hustling the system. But even again, that stuff's all risky. It can all fold in pretty quick. So again, it's never hurts to make some money on the side, guys, but just watch what you're doing and make sure you're not falling into some fucking scammy trap. Seems like that's all the world is now. But either way, I have an early day tomorrow. It's getting late tonight already. I gotta get this up on the YouTube channel on Spotify. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for listening. Sorry I missed last week. I'm gonna try to get a live stream up on YouTube by the end of the week, hopefully. And it's just been, life is so crazy, and we're getting into the warm weather, and disc golf season's getting fired up, and I'm getting excited about that. And it was my daughter's birthday. My washing machine fucking broke. Speaking of, Temu Chinese parts, I got a new motor for my my clothes washer rather. I got it for $30. The MSRP from Maytag was like $200, but by golly, I got a Chinese part off Amazon for $30, and let's go. Hopefully it solves the problem, but hey, I like to save money. I just really hope it's not made by slaves or something like that. That would make me feel bad, but having said that, I got a nice cheap part for my washer, which is nice. So, and being a poor member of the middle class, which is the poverty line in Canada, for you guys that don't know, it's a good thing for me. So, anyways, I'm rambling. Thank you for listening. Remember, links to all social media are in the description below, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.